Hi, welcome to the OTRS webinar. My name is John Coggins. I'm the Global Business Relationship Manager, and joining me is my colleague, Luca Smolsing. Luca will go over the OTRS 8, our new terminology, how to create a ticket, the ticket view, the actions that are available inside once we create a ticket, how we merge, link, and split a ticket. If there are any questions afterwards, please feel free to email us at sales@otrs.com, and we'll be happy to go in more detail. With that, Luca, I want to hand it over to you and start the demonstration.
Thank you very much, John. All right, so hello, everyone. We will take a closer look on the new interface today. So in this session, as John already told, I would like to start with an overview of the new dashboard and what you can see here. So basically, the interface consists of different areas. We have on the left side the organizer, which includes the avatar menu, so the personalization area. We have the organizer items on the left side. On the main frame in the top level, we have the burger menu on the upper left corner, which includes the different areas of OTRS 8. So all dashboards, which includes the personal dashboard, statistics and reports, the calendar overview, tickets, so the management of tickets, different ticket lists. We have the knowledge management area, we have the customer management area, the service management area for your services, the asset management, and the administration area. So here you can find basically all areas. So this is the main menu over here. In the middle of the screen, you have the notification bell for the web view. So all notifications will be shown here. And we have the search, which will be handled in another webinar as well. What's very new in the new version of OTRS is this action menu here. So you can directly perform different actions on your system. So you can just, for a very quick way, create phone or email tickets. You can add customers or customer users to your system. You can add appointments or articles. So this is a very quick way to perform actions in OTRS. As I already told you, in the mainframe, we are located in the dashboard. And on the right side, we have the configuration screen. I will take a closer look into the configuration of the dashboard as well in one of the next sessions. And right now, or what I would like to start with, is creating a phone ticket. So you just click, for example, on the action menu or on the burger menu and take a new phone call. So let's imagine Carl customer called us and reported a printer issue. So basically, at first, you need to classify the ticket. This is in general what we do. So as soon as a ticket will receive or the service desk receives a new request, we will classify it to have a better overview about our different tickets. So at first we will classify the type, which in this case is an incident. You can, of course, basically click on the drop down or just type it in to filter. Then we will select the customer user, which in this case is Carl. He called us. The queue, I will take the IT service desk and the owner. So in my case, I'm Marco Manager right now, and I would like to be the owner to have all, let's say to have all functions available because I have full read-write access on the ticket. At the next step, you need to select the service, which can be, for example, in this case, user management. If you want, or if you like, and you have linked an SLA to the service, you can, of course, select the SLA as well. So this is basically very much up to you what you would like to use or what you would like to select. Okay. The next thing you need to fill out is, of course, the priority. So how would you like to prioritize the ticket from 1 very low to 5 very high? In the administrator dashboard, of course, you can define your own priorities and or switch the sortation. So there are different possibilities there. And the state which should be the ticket in after you have created it. So in my case, it should be open so I can start work on it. Next thing would be the subject. In my case, we have printer issues. And I would like to say, for example, hi IT, my printer is not working anymore. Okay, so you can always add some attachments. If we have an error message, for example, or something different, you can always add this attachment to the ticket, as well as time units. So if you are accounting time on your tickets, feel free to add, for example, 15 minutes to take this phone call. You will get, of course, you can now create the ticket, but if you scroll a bit down below, you can see the customer information, which includes the customer user and the customer company. So you get different information about them. We will take a closer look when we will talk about the customer management. And you got an overview about the history of the user and the customer company. So the user of the customer and the company itself. But now, for now, let's just create the ticket. As you can see, the ticket has been created now. And we have a new or another overview, which I would like to explain now. So currently we are in the business object detail view. So what you need to know, and John already told you in the beginning, we will talk about the new terminologies. We have new terminologies here in OTRS, which the first thing you need to know is that we have the business object. A business object is described as a different, or all different objects of OTRS are described as business objects. So this can be a ticket, this can be an appointment, this can be a knowledge base article, this can be a CMDB item. So just different objects you are managing in your OTRS software. So basically, you need to know right now, since we are viewing a ticket, we are in the business object detail view. Earlier, we called this the ticket zoom. Now it's called the business object detail view. And we have different, for example, lists. But I will take a closer look in the next webinar on this one. So there will be new terminologies like the business object list, the business object ticket list. So you will get more information there. But right now you need to know we have business objects, and currently we are in the business object detail view of a ticket in this case. On the upper left corner, you have the directory where you're currently in. So we moved from the home to my printer issue ticket. On the right side, you can see, so on the main frame, we have all widgets. All these tiles you can see here are called widgets, and you can collapse or expand them. So each area, each tile is called a widget. When you want to, so in the new interface, there are different layouts to display these tiles, which is on the right side. So here you can select, for example, a 2-column layout, a 3-column layout. And for each layout, you can configure how the widgets should be displayed. So feel free to click the configuration gear wheel here. And then you have the possibility to select your layout you would like to edit, for example, the 1-column layout, the 2-column layout, or as I said, the 3-column layout, and you can add widgets to each layout. So you can move them from the left to the right side. You can, basically add new ones. So there are different possibilities here. For each layout, you have the configuration, you can have the widgets, you can restructure them, you can delete widgets you don't need anymore or you don't want to have on your interface. So you can basically just remove them by clicking the bin. And yeah, basically that's the screen configuration of your different layouts. So feel free to try it out, to try different configurations. And of course, always if you have maybe did, or if you maybe did a wrong configuration, feel always free to reset your layout to default, which is done through this. Okay, so another thing which is quite new is on the right side, this sidebar. I can hide or show it by clicking this icon over here. And the sidebar is very helpful to have an overview who's currently interacting with a ticket. So for example, you have all agents that are currently watching the ticket. You have all agents who are involved in a ticket since they have been called by other agents. So maybe you involve a colleague because you need his assistance or his help. So he will be added here as another avatar. He will be seen here, and you will see if someone is working live in a ticket, which means basically as soon as someone enters the ticket, so opens the business object detail view, he'll be displayed on the right side. So in this sidebar here, which can be hide or shown. And another function which is quite nice is that you can see who is currently watching the ticket. So you will always have a very good overview who's currently watching the ticket without needing to search the ticket history, which can become very complicated if you have a big history in a ticket and just want to see who's currently watching the ticket. So who has basically read-only access on the ticket. Another function, if you click on an avatar, you will not only see information, contact information, so for example, his email address or start a new chat with this agent, but you can also see his specific history, so the history of this user. So every action he performed on a ticket will be summarized here, and of course only the actions he has performed. So if a system or another agent would have performed any action on the ticket, it won't be displayed here because it's just the user ticket history. That's all about the sidebar on the right side. So one last new function I would like to show you here is the scroll to function, which gives you the possibility to immediately jump to specific widgets. So if you click, for example, here the scroll to attachment widget, you will just jump right to the last one over here. So if you have a very big layout screen with different widgets, it can be very helpful to jump in a very fast way to specific widgets. All right, so now let's take a closer look on all these ticket actions we have over here. So we will start with adding a node. So these ticket actions are separated in different areas. We have the communication category, the organization category, the people stripe, and the views. So sorry, the people sections and the views. So let's start with adding a node in the communication section. And in my case, I just remembered after my phone call with Carl that he told me his current printer version. So what he's using as a driver and on which version. So I will note down printer version he is currently using. HP LaserJet 500 with driver version 501. So it gives us some information or further information we would like to add to the ticket. We can of course always add attachments to the tickets or time units. In my case, I just forgot to write it down, so I don't want to add more time for the customer or want to account more time on this ticket. And you can always decide if you would like to make this article visible to the customer or mark it as an important article, which means you can always decide right in the ticket, right in the article which you would like to add to the ticket, if you would mark it as an important article. This is a very new function here too. So in our case, we would like to make it not visible to the customer, since we basically just forgot to note it down. And I would just go here and send it. So as you can see, a new article has been added to the communication stream. I would like to give you a further or a closer look on the new communication stream widget here, but let's just add some more articles so you can see how this works here. Okay, so next action, let's imagine Carl would call us and ask for the state, so the state of the ticket. So let's imagine he writes, what is the current state? I really need to print. So we can send this. You can see it has been added. Now we are going to, for example, so we just imagine Carl called us. That's why I added a phone call inbound. Same, of course, would be with a phone call outbound. So if I'm calling him, I can add this as an article as well. And there are different other actions. So we can send an email outbound. You should not use this action here because, as you can see here, the to field, for example, is not pre-filled of the customer. So normally you would expect the system to auto pre-fill this field here, since you don't want to always add the customer, since it was already again. This ticket action is not supposed to be used for customer communication, since, for example, the to field is not auto pre-filled. So normally you would expect the system to auto-fill this field, since your customer has already been recorded into the ticket information. So as you can see here, OTRS is not auto-filling the to field, and the article is not automatically saved as an visible article for the customer. So this gives you a hint that this function is not supposed to be used for customer communication. I will show you later how to communicate with the customer, but in my case, I would like to just add, for example, here. So this function is normally used for a communication with, for example, another support, which can be, in this case, the HP support. So I'd like to ask them, so support@hp.com. Current driver version of LaserJet 500. So I would like to ask them of the current driver version. You can add your article here. So could you please provide the current driver version of LaserJet 500? And yeah, basically that's it. So you can use this function to send an email to a third party, like, as I said, the customer support, and you don't want normally your customer to see that you are communicating or consulting other supports as well. So that's why it's basically not visible to the customer by default. In my case, I will add it, but I will use a no reply email of HP, since I don't want to open a new support request here. And I will send it over here. And as you can see here, it is marked as an invisible article. So all articles, the note as well, that are highlighted in a very blue way. In earlier versions, we had it with a red frame and a red highlight section in the article overview. Now it is highlighted in the color of your current design. So the styles will be discussed in the next webinar. So yeah, we will take a closer look on them. Okay, so we have checked all communications over here. Now let's take a closer look at the organization area. So here you can perform different actions on the ticket in terms of, let's say, classification, since you are interacting with the ticket. For example, you unlock or lock it. As soon as you unlock the ticket, it will be shown here in the ticket properties. You can change the free fields, which are basically the fields you have entered when you created the ticket. So for example, the title, the type you have selected, the services, and the SLA. So basically that's it. And you can always save all things. I think you saw it already before, and when I was adding these different articles to the ticket, you can always save them as a draft. So yeah, feel free to reuse them. And if you especially write a very long text and you want to continue later, you can always save it as a draft. The merge ticket function I will show later, since right now we don't have another ticket we would like to merge together with this one, but I will show this function later. Watch ticket, as I already told you, as soon as you watch the ticket, it will be shown on the right side. So if I will go into this page again, you see it has been added to my watching tickets, so tickets that I'm currently watching. And on the right side, you can see now this eye icon, which yeah, gives you the hint that I'm currently watching this ticket. Next action is the appointment, but I would like to show this one as soon as we will talk about the calendar overview. So I will come back to this point in another webinar. Close ticket is, of course, if you want to close the ticket. So you can decide between close successful, closed unsuccessful, or closed workaround. You can always define your own state. So this is pretty much up to you. And yeah, so successful is basically when you could solve the problem, and unsuccessful if you were not able to solve the problem, or if the agent just the customer just said, okay, it doesn't matter anymore, you don't need to take care of this problem anymore. You can always add a message by clicking this checkbox or deselect it. And after, so let me cancel this action since I would like to show you all other functions as well. You can link objects, so which means now it is not only linking tickets, but it's linking all business objects that are available in OTRS, which can be an appointment, which can be the configuration item, which can be a knowledge base article or a ticket. I will show this link function later as soon as we have several tickets in the end of this session. So let me cancel right here. Then we have the move ticket function, which gives us the opportunity to move the ticket into another queue. So if we want to give it to someone else and make him responsible, or this queue responsible, we can just move it over or hand it over to another queue. Of course, you can always see on the right side, so not only the eye icon will imply that, but you will see as soon as you move it to a queue where, for example, this user has no access, no read-only access, normally the ticket watcher function will still work. So which means as soon as you subscribe to a ticket, so you watch it, you will be able to access it no matter in what queue it will be currently located in. So if you don't have any permissions in that queue, you of course won't have permissions on this queue, but you will have permission on this specific ticket since you are watching it, so you will still keep the read-only access. Okay, another function here is set the pending time. So you can always choose between pending reminder, which is basically just a reminder function. So you need to look up or talk to a colleague or something like this. That's why you would like to switch the ticket into a pending reminder. Or you can use the pending auto close, which gives you the opportunity to, basically auto close the ticket. So you always, when you are selecting a pending time, you always need to select a date when it should be, when you want to be reminded. It's the first option, or when you would like to have the ticket auto closed. So basically you just need to decide between these actions here. So I will choose Wednesday in this case, and can set the time over here, for example, at 3 p.m. I'd like to be reminded tomorrow. And same is for the pending auto close minus. So what's the difference between pending auto close minus and pending auto close plus? Pending auto close minus will automatically close the ticket unsuccessful. That's what the minus symbol implies. The pending auto close plus symbol, it's for closing the ticket successfully, which will basically close the ticket as a successfully solved ticket. And this will of course be done automatically. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. the ticket will automatically be closed, in this case successfully. You can choose to add a message again or not. In my case, I don't want to do that. And you can of course cancel this action as well. So, but maybe let me just show you, I can do a pending reminder for tomorrow. So tomorrow I would like to be reminded of this case in the morning at 9 a.m. Don't want to add a message and send it. So now you can see here in the state, which was before an open state, that it is now on a pending reminder state, and it will be pending 17 hours left, 47 minutes left until tomorrow, 9 a.m. Okay, last but not least of the organization area, we have the priority that can be changed here. So you can always, for example, choose another priority if you want to hide it, customer, to increase it. Customer is waiting, for example. Urgent issue. We can add some time again. And now I would like to send it. So we have now added more time, as you can see here in the ticket properties. And we can still, add different, so we have increased the priority as well. It's now on 4 high. So that are basically all actions we can perform in the organization area. Let's continue with the people section. So in the people section, you can choose, for example, to change the owner, which means you can basically, click on which owner should be the ticket moved to. So who should be or the next owner of the ticket. You can add an article again, or you don't do it as you like. And the other action you can perform in the people section is changing the customer. So you can always, if you, for example, the customer user is leaving the company, or you just want to hand it over since he goes on vacation, or for any other reason, you can select another one. And through these double stars, you can see all available customer users. In this case, you can use this function in other drop downs as well. And in my case, I could say, for example, okay, now Fernando Martins will take care of this case. But I don't do it right now. I just want to continue working on this ticket, but you can always, of course, imagine what would happen. Last but not least, the view section. So the last area we want to cover in this ticket actions over here. You can always print a ticket, for example, or you can view the history. So for example, you can, well, if as soon as you view the history, I told you that before on the right side in the people stripe. So when you go into the people stripe on the sidebar on the right side, you can see the user ticket history. And this is the whole history of the ticket, which means everything that has been done on this ticket and what actions had been performed, and yeah, basically what happened here. So you can always see the agents who did actions, and you can always see what they did, when they did it, and you can even filter for certain criteria. So if you just want to see, okay, who has locked and unlocked the ticket, you can just filter for this criteria and see it in the ticket history. Another thing is that you could print the ticket. So for example, after clicking this link, there will be a PDF document generated. And when you open it, let me make it a bit bigger that you can read it very good. So now you can see the ticket information over here. So the properties, the classification of the ticket. You can see the customer information. So who has been, recorded in the ticket, and you can see all articles. So every article that had been added to the ticket can be viewed here. And that's basically it for the ticket actions. So you can see the difference between a ticket action, and now we will come to article actions, is that a ticket action is performed on the whole ticket, which means, yeah, basically the whole ticket is affected by this change, while as an article action is only for a certain article. So you basically only perform this action on this specific article and not on the whole ticket, which includes all articles. But before we will come to the article actions, which are shown here in this area, we will take a closer look at the new communication stream here. So this new widget is another, let's say, a display of different articles that are included into a ticket. So in my business object detail view, where I'm currently in of this ticket, you can see in a very new and like a chat function, you can see how the communication had flown. So what happened in this ticket and in the past. So basically everything that has every information, every communication that had taken place here. It is displayed as a chat function. I already told you that. So on the left side, we have the car customer in this case. And on the right side, we have, for example, me, or the system messages, and as well as outgoing emails to someone else. So for example, in this case, it was the HP team. So yeah, as you can see, it is structured in a way, and as soon as you click on a specific article, it will be expanded and you get more information in a more structured way. Since you can see, if I collapse it again, this could be a bit too small if you have a very large text. So in this case, it's still readable since it's just one sentence that's important in this article. But if you have an article with a very big text, of course, you need to expand it, which can be done via click. Now let's take a closer look into this article. So if we click on this button over here, these two arrows, we will show the full article headers, which include the from field, so who has sent this email, and the to field, so to which email address had this email been sent to. And on the right side, we have the article actions. So let's start with replying via node. So for example, I can add a node and say let's say so now I'm adding an article that I've talked to the HP support, and they have told me that there is a new driver version available, which is the 5.1.5. And I will mark this article as an important article, since we have learned before that he's currently using the 5.0.1 version. So there's a new release, and that's why I think this could be the cause of this issue. So let's add it here. And you can see through this reply function, I've quoted the last article. So this is what this reply via node does. So you can basically quote an already existing article, and you can add your own description or your own hints to this article as well. Another thing you can use here is the reply via email function. So this function will give you the opportunity to respond to an email, and this is the email or the way to go if you want to communicate with your customer. So as I told you before, please don't do it via the ticket actions and choosing this article. Please do it with this article action over here. So if you click on reply via email, you can see the to field is pre-filled by OTRS, and the article is visible to the customer by default. And you can see the salutation has been added as well. So this implies that it's the right way to use to communicate with the customer. So in this case, we will add a new article and tell him, thank you for your request. Please please install the latest driver of your printer, which is 5.1.5. And you see this customer will be quoted as well. And if we send it, of course, it's visible to the customer as well. So yeah, this is the article in this case. And let's take a closer look to the reply to all via email. This is another function to reply via email, but to all, which includes the CC field. So everyone who's in copy, which will be addressed to, or if you have more than one sender, you can send it basically to all of them. Another function is the forward via email. So this function is to redirect it to someone who's responsible for this issue. So for example, you don't feel responsible for the ticket. You say it's the problem of the, in this case, printer facturer, and you want to hand it over to him. You can, through this forward function, you can close this ticket in a very fast way. So for example, close successful or unsuccessful, write it to, in this case, support as hp.com. And now you can add information and tell them that they should take care of this. So you will close the ticket for yourself. Of course, we won't do it right now, but it is another possibility over here to hand it over to a third party. On this menu icon, we can select more article actions. You have already seen the reply via note, reply via email, reply to all via email, and to forward, but we can still mark the article as function, but we can still mark the article as important or split the article, for example. So different possibilities over here as well, and the views as well. But let's start with the mark as important function. So as you have seen before, we have marked this article as important. You can see it through this lightning icon over here. And now let's imagine the customer called us, or yeah, the customer called us. So I will add a phone call inbound and said, printer still not working. So I installed the latest driver, but my printer is still not working, for example. You can add new time work units here. Okay, so he called us and now we know, okay, the problem is still existing and we would like to add it, for example, or to unmark the last article that it was not the issue. So over here, we can just go into the section and unmark as important. So now it's not shown as an important article anymore. And of course, you can perform that on basically every article right after. So you don't need to do it when you create it. You can always mark or unmark the article as important later. The split function will be shown at the end. Let's just quickly show me the copy article link function. So this one is to copy and paste a link for your colleagues, for your other agents to access the ticket in a very quick way and to view this specific article. So now, as you can see, it will be expanded and yeah, you get more information about this article, this specific article which your colleagues shared with you. Last but not least, we have the print article function. So what's the difference between the ticket print function and the ticket article function? So let's compare these two. So before we have printed the whole ticket, and this is some point where you can see in a very good way the difference between a ticket action and an article action. Since in a ticket action you have the different articles that are included into this ticket. So as you can see here, we have article 5, article 4, article 3, 2, 1. So basically the whole content of this ticket. On the article action print, we have just this specific article. So yeah, in the end, it's just this specific article that was printed, and you have just the ticket information and the customer information, but only this specific article. So that's where you can see the difference in a very good way between ticket actions and article actions, since ticket actions will be applied to the whole ticket, while as article actions only is applied to the specific article. And these were all ticket and article actions so far. So let's take a closer look about different options of showing this communication, because some customers might say, okay, it's nice to have the customer stream here, but I would like to have the other view, so the communication compact that you had before in other OTRS versions. I would like to have that as well. So I would like to have a communication compact widget. No problem. Of course, you can always open your screen configuration and configure your layout. So you would like to add a new widget over here, and you can select the communication compact widget. So as soon as I have added it, I can place it at the point where I would like to have it. For example, over here in the above the communication stream, since it is a more compact way of showing the communication, and save. And now the new widget will be displayed over here. So you can see, as you are used to, you can see the different numbers of the articles. You can see the communication way. So was it an incoming message or an outgoing message? You can see the channel where you receive the message or deliver the message, which can be via phone, via email, or via OTRS. And you can see the sender, of course, the subject of the article, and when it has been created. Of course, you would see if it would be marked as important or not. You can see attachments. So let's imagine, for example, I add a new node, network issues. So now let's imagine he further investigated the problem and noticed network issues. So I will mark this article as an important article, and now you can see here in the overview that it has been marked as an important article through this lightning icon. And basically this communication compact view is working the same as the communication stream. You can expand a specific article, and you can always use this article actions as well. There is an expand all function over here as well. So you are able to expand all your articles that are in the customer communication compact view, or you can do the same in the communication stream. So both functions are available. Another thing that's very new in OTRS 8 is the preset filter. So you can always select a specific preset, and you can always add the filter section. So as soon as you expand it, you have the possibility to filter your widget, in this case the communication compact, but it is available for all widgets in OTRS 8. So you can add, for example, the customer, let's say, sender type, and you only want to see articles of the customer. So let me give you maybe a good example so I can cover the different layouts as well. I will, so you can see it has been filtered now. You can see here we have only the articles displayed that are that has been sent by the customer. So we can save this preset, for example, customer articles. And we can hide the section as well, and we can delete this filter in a very easy way. So you can just basically delete it and select it all over again. So in a very quick way, we can use these different filters. So now let me show you with an example with another layout. So imagine you have a 2-column layout, and you would like to have different views of communication. So you can, let's add the communication compact again to the left side. So now it looks the same as before, but in a 2-column layout. And now imagine you would like to have the same widget, but with other information. So you can always add widgets multiple times. So let me show you. I can click over here, add the communication compact again, move it up. So we have it now 2 times on the left and on the right side. Save it. And now we can select a preset over here. For example, we can open the widget configuration. So the first possibility would be to select the preset, or the second possibility would be to open the screen configuration, the widget configuration, and rename it, for example, customer communication. And in every widget, we can open this widget configuration to configure all filter criteria, the sortation, which columns should be shown in which order. So basically everything, how many results should be shown. So you can define everything over here. So let's go through these widget configurations. The first option is the title. So which title should the widget have? In my case, it should be the customer communication. Then you can decide should the articles by default be collapsed or expanded. You can decide which columns shall be shown or not. You can restructure them by moving them up and down. You can add a sortation. So in my case, it should be the created descending. You can add a filter criteria. So for example, in my case, it is the sender type customer. Or you can, of course, use the filter that only articles that are visible to the customer can be shown. But you can always add new filters over here and choose basically which one you would like to use for this widget. So here you can decide on the number of results. I can show you that as well. So let's choose 5 for the moment, and I save this one. So now you can see we have these 3 articles over here, which have been taken via phone by the customer. He called us, he didn't send us any email so far, and it was, were incoming messages. So basically that's the configuration, and now we were reusing this widget. So it's very helpful to always being able to reuse different widgets. So you can add them multiple times here just by basically clicking this plus symbol, and you can reset your layout to the default value again if you want to use it differently. And every layout has its own configuration, which means when I switch back to my one column layout, I don't have the the communication compact several times. I just have it once. So basically you see that it's working this way. Let's go a bit down. I already showed you before the properties, so you can always see what the ticket that has been created. So all information, the ticket properties. You can see the accounted times now. We can add other columns as soon as we open the widget configuration again. So for example, if I'm missing the type, I can basically add it by checking this checkbox, and now it will be displayed at this point. If I would like to have the type before the state or something like this, it's of course possible to add or to move the type for the state as well. So let's search for the state. There it is. So now type is in front of the state, and you can see it will be displayed here. Another very new function in OTRS 8 is the inline editing function. So you can make all these fields here inline editable, which means you can just click right in here with a double click. There will be a pencil icon over here to inline edit this function or this ticket field without accessing the ticket actions on the upper left corner. So this is a very fast way to edit data on your ticket. For example, the priority, the queue, which the ticket is currently located in, and different criteria. You can very easily edit, but of course, please be aware informations might get lost if you give all your agents the possibility to inline edit all fields, since they don't need to add an article anymore. So please, of course, be a bit careful with this function. The people sections show who is currently involved in the ticket. So in this case, it's Marco who has created the ticket, and Marco who's the owner of the ticket. We would see the responsible as well if we would have selected it, which we didn't so far. And you can see the customer information. I will take a closer look on this one when we will talk about the customer management. I think it is the last webinar. and so the fourth, and we have the attachments down below. Okay, so this was the ticket or the business object detail view. Now let's take a closer look on linking, merging, and splitting tickets. So please imagine now, as I told you before, we have experienced network issues when we further investigated the problem. So let's add or take a new phone call. Because Carl called us again. Now network management in this case, I select myself as owner again. We will take an SLA this time, and we will say network issues. I can't access the internet anymore. Please. Best regards, Carl. So now we have created a new ticket, and we were thinking that maybe these both issues have something to do with each other, since the printer he's using is a network printer. So we can use, for example, the ticket action link object and link this other ticket. So we can just look for tickets that are currently open. So for example, we have the printer issue, which had been opened an hour ago. And now we can add a link to this ticket. So if you scroll down below, you can see that the printer issue, which had been created an hour ago, has been linked as a normal ticket. So now we have linked these two tickets. If I go to the printer ticket again, you can see all information I've added, and you can see down below the linked. So another hint here, widgets will only be shown if there's data available. So in this case, we have the link ticket. Of course, you can define to show the widget even if there's none data available. For example, you can see it here in the attachment widget, but by default, widgets will only be shown if there is data available. So here you can see now the link ticket. And now, after further investigating the problem, we really found out that he has a network printer, and these tickets are in a relation to each other, since the printer issue won't exist if the network issue would have been fixed. So basically, there is no issue with the printer itself. It's an issue with the network, and we have a ticket for this already created. So now we can delete this link. So just click on unlink and link the ticket again. So as soon as we do this, let's search for the ticket. I delete the criteria to find it. Okay, this one. And now we will link it as a child ticket. So we will say the printer issue is a child of my parent ticket. So as soon as I add it, you can see now that the ticket has been linked as a child, which means it won't exist if the other ticket is not there. So as soon as I am solving my network issues, this ticket will be solved as well, since it is linked as a parent ticket. So basically, yeah, it just shows it's not you can make functions behind it so that it will really take into consideration if the childs have been solved, and then you can only solve the parent ticket if all childs have been closed. But in this case, it's just an informative or an information for all agents that the ticket has been created through this other ticket. So in this case, the network issue ticket is the real problem, and the printer issue was already only created or born through this printer through this network issues. So you can make relations between tickets as well. At first, I've shown you the normal relation, and now I've shown you the parent-child relation. Then there is an active birth as well. So please imagine you already knew, okay, this customer has had network issues, and now he's going to call you and tell you, I'm experiencing issues, I cannot reach my network driver anymore. So you can, and this was the last function I have not shown you in the article action, you can split the article, which means you basically take the same customer, the same information, and split a new ticket out of the last one. So the new ticket should be linked as a child ticket. I've selected it here, and it should be a phone ticket. What is the difference between email ticket, phone ticket, and process ticket? A phone ticket is always a reactive ticket. So someone had an inquiry or called you, and you are responding or reacting on this issue. An email ticket is always you have a request. So for example, you would like to install an update or something like this. So it is an outgoing and proactive ticket. A process ticket is a ticket where we have a specific workflow behind. So it is a normal ticket as well. You can perform all ticket actions and article actions we have learned today. But the difference is that we have a process engine behind it, which will tell you which direction the ticket will go. So basically which, for example, departments need to take care of it. And you have decisions, you have different dialogues to note down data. So, but I will show that in another webinar for sure. Now we will create a phone ticket. And as I told you, it is still an incident. All data has been taken to. Now we don't say network issues, we say network driver or network drive not reachable. IT, I can't access our network drive anymore. Please help. So as you can see now, the ticket has auto-linked to the other one as a child ticket. So network issues is the parent ticket. Now we have done the active birth, as I called it before. So now you can see in my parent ticket, in my network issues, we have two child tickets, which are the network drive not reachable and printer issue ticket. Last but not least, the merge function. So please imagine now Carl call us again. So we are another agent now who's not aware of his problems so far. So he is calling us and is telling about network issues without telling my colleague, okay, I already reported that issue. So he will open a new case. So he would select all data over here. Network management, network problems, my network on my internet. So let's assume he called us again and we create a new case because we were not aware of already that there was already existing another ticket. So now we start working on this ticket. So for example, I want to add some time to the ticket. What I did so far. Now we can add bullet points, for example, ping Google server, checked DNS, checked router. So we basically just add points over here. And now we see, oh no, there's already a ticket existing where other tickets had been linked. And so basically it's not right, or we don't want to use this anymore. So now we can just add the description over here. So basically there's a ticket merge function over here. You can use to, for example, merge these tickets together. So we can now see the network issue ticket over here, select it. and now you can click merge. But please be aware there's no undo. So as soon as you merge these tickets together, there's no way back. So the ticket will be merged to the other one. I will do this now. So you can see all articles. So what I did so far will be added to the new ticket, or to the one I was merging to. And yeah, so basically every information is over here, has been moved, and the other ticket won't be displayed in any ticket list or any view anymore. So you can only see it, for example, if you select a certain filter, or if you go back to the other one, if we have the direct link. So there you can see the ticket has been merged, and yeah, you see basically it is, see that it's linked to the new one. So this is how the old ticket looks like, and I can switch to the new one and continue my work. So yeah, that's basically how you merge tickets together, and you can continue your work in the right one you would like to keep. So basically that's it. That was everything I would like to show you today. So thank you very much for your attention. And yeah, so John, take over.
Well, Luca, thank you very much for such a great overview of OTRS 8 and the ticket handling. If you have any additional questions that Luca didn't cover or topics that you would like to learn more about, please feel free to email us at sales@otrs.com, and we'll be more than happy to reach out to you and to go over in more detail those questions that you have. Please feel free to join us for our next webinar where we'll go over OTRS 8, how you can personalize your solution. More importantly, we'll talk about the user profile, the security, notification settings, and how you can organize your OTRS solution to maximize the most benefit for you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.